So
Yep.
when the president is saying that he believed it was a political prosecution, does it make it easier for incoming Trump to also say that he's pardoning January 6 rioters because he believes that those are political
Look, I'm not going to get into what the incoming administration is going to do or not do. That's not something that I'm going to speak to. I've been pretty consistent about that since the election. We've been very clear about where we stand on January 6th. And so not going to get into that. But I think, and you all, some of you have reported this, Republicans have been his political opponents in Congress have been very clear about this. The president talks about this again in his own statement about how they took credit for bringing political pressure on the process when it came to Hunter Biden's plea deal. And so they took credit for that when it fell apart. They took credit for that. And they have said they're not going to stop. And so again, I'm not going to point to one particular reason for the president making this decision. There's been changing factors that led him to where he weighted this decision over the weekend.
And I just look at where Zeke started about the idea of preemptive pardons.
Yeah.
You clearly didn't rule that out. You confirmed that the White House is really considering that in response to me.
I'm not confirming anything. I'm just saying I'm not going to get ahead of the president on this issue. There's a process. I'm
Are
not
you ruling out the idea of preemptive
what I'm saying is I'm not getting ahead of the president. I'm not. He's going to make announcements on pardons and commutations. That is something every president, historically, presidents do, especially at the end of their term. And so that normally happens around the holiday. So you could expect the president making a decision. What I can talk to and speak to is this particular pardon a couple of days ago of his son and what he's been able to do. I laid out some historic actions that the president has taken when it comes to pardons, when it comes to commutations over the past 4 years, as recently as this past April. I'm not going to get into hypotheticals here. I'm not going to get into the president's thinking.
Have people come and asked the president for preemptive pardon because they're worried about a potential prosecution?
So what I can say is we have seen from advocates, right, who have been very public in lobbying the administration for pardons and clemency, commutations. We've heard from them. You all have seen it. So obviously we've heard them. I'm just not going to get into specifics of what we're going to do, not do. I'm not going to get ahead of the president, and I think you can understand that process that we're going to keep going. Go ahead, Tam.
Yeah, thank you.